First up, let's tackle RAID groups. Sometimes we call these RAID sets. Basically, a RAID group or a RAID set is a group of physical drives combined and virtualized by a RAID controller to be one or more logical drives. The RAID controller virtualizes the physical drives into one or more logical volumes. Sometimes we call these logical drives, logical disks, virtual volumes, or virtual disks. We'll call them logical volumes. So these logical volumes look and feel exactly like a disk drive, but with the advantage of having multiple physical disk drives behind them. This virtualization of multiple physical disk drives allows for increased resiliency by either mirroring or using parity, and we'll discuss these shortly, as well as improving performance by parallelizing access to them via striping techniques. And as we can see from the image on the slide, we've got 4 physical disk drives being virtualized into a single logical volume by the RAID controller. However, the RAID controller could easily be virtualizing these 4 physical drives into more than one logical drive. So let's look at an image of a RAID controller now that's virtualizing physical disks into 2 logical drives. This time we've got 8 physical disks behind the RAID controller. These are being virtualized into 2 logical drives. Again, these physical disks could have been virtualized into more than 2 logical drives, but to keep the example simple, we just show them being virtualized into 2 logical drives. Now for a quick and important point on RAID groups. 99.9% of the time, a RAID group behind a hardware RAID controller can only have a single RAID level applied to it. So a RAID group can be either RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5, RAID 6, RAID 10, you get the picture. Now each logical drive created from that underlying RAID group inherits the RAID level from the RAID group. Now some advanced storage arrays don't abide by this rule, and some software RAID controllers aren't bound to this rule either. However, the vast majority of hardware RAID controllers work this way.